Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all of the Geminis out there. If you are a Gemini sun, moon, rising, or north node, say hi to Nelly. This is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of February of 2025. And in case any of you are interested, I will be using my Osho Zen Tarot deck for this reading, which so far the symbolism has been on point, and I expect the same for Gemini. So let's see what you guys have in store for February. Okay, so Gemini, the very first card to fall out was the World Reverse, which is noted by the word completion in this deck. And then we had the Three of Wands, experiencing. Excuse me. And then we had the Three of Cups reverse, celebration. The Queen of Pentacles, flowering. I love that card. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups reverse, the dream. And then under the Six of Cups is the Chariot, which is awareness. Which that buzzword awareness kind of goes with this reading. What's interesting about this is I feel like there is a very mercurial nature to this, because initially when it was just the World Reverse and then the Three of Wands that came out so far, in my head I said, okay, so there is a cycle that's nearing completion, but there's something it's not quite ready to be ended yet, because there's still something you have to actually go out and experience within the bounds of where you are in life right now. And maybe not go out and experience, it could also be an inner, like going into experience. There's something that's still left undone in this cycle, which is why we're seeing the World Reverse rather than the World Upright, which would denote completion. There's something that's like the book is not yet ready to be closed. You're on like the last 100 pages or so, or if you don't read those massive novels like I do, you're on the last like 30 pages, but there is still a bit of the story left before you can actually close the book and say, okay, this chapter of my life is done. And why I'm feeling this is mercurial, because it's mostly because of the Three of Cups, where like Three of Cups reverse is a very interesting energy, because while you want to feel celebrated and you want to celebrate yourself and others and everything, there's something that's preventing you. And my initial thought was, okay, maybe Nelly, maybe you feel that you don't deserve to be celebrated, but that's immediately denounced by the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles knows her worth, and she knows what she is worth, and she knows that she does deserve to be celebrated. Look at this woman. That's a woman who knows what she's worth and how to celebrate herself. So it's a mixed bag of energies. And perhaps this, like, you're holding off on the celebration because you know internally, again, this story is not yet finished. So you don't want to celebrate too early of coming close to the end, because I think, Gemini, you know, probably more than a lot of people, the consequences that can come from celebrating too early. You know, I was watching Ted Lasso last night, and there's that one episode where all they need is a draw to not get relegated. And so they finally make the goal, and they all start celebrating immediately. There's still time left on the clock, though. So as they're busy celebrating their goal and the fact that they're not getting relegated, the other team turned around and scored again. So you know there can be consequences with celebrating early, and I think that's where this comes in. I like that I just had to talk through that in order to figure it out, because that's also very Gemini. So if you are not quite sure how much longer you have until this ending, what else can be told, what else can be done in this story, talk it out. Use that mercurial side of yourself to sort through what needs to be sorted through, to speak out what needs to be sorted through in your mind. Or even if you don't have anybody to talk to, A, talk to yourself, just as valuable there. Or B, write it down. Express it in art. Dance it out. Do something that helps you express, like that helps you clear the mind so you can find clarity. And through that clarity, you will understand, oh, this isn't quite yet finished because I still have to do this. There's this one stone that was left unturned, and now you're able to recognize that because you have the clear mind to do so. And what I love about the World and the Three of Cups reversed is that they are two very positive cards in the tarot. And when they're reversed, I always say this, reversed energy does not mean this is an energy that is not available to you. Whoa, in the upright formation. The upright is also available to you, but sometimes it's just around certain roadblocks, if you will. And in this case, your roadblock is something you still have yet to experience. So keep a lookout for that and really follow your intuition with where that's leading you. I think that's also emphasized by the Chariot at the bottom of the deck as well. There is, and I love that it's awareness, there is a certain, it's almost like your intuition will tell you once you come across it. You'll be like, oh, this is the thing that I was waiting for in order to, complete this cycle, finish this chapter, and then move on with my life. Use this drive forward, use this Chariot energy to be able to, as you move forward, scan what's around you, scan the opportunities, scan the people, scan what's available to you. And it's almost like the thing that you're looking for will like be ever so slightly highlighted. If you do have clairvoyance, it could quite literally be like haloed in a way. If not, it'll just be like this nudge. It's like you're sitting at a coffee shop and somebody walks in and you can't figure out why, but you need to speak to that person. It's like this, it's this inner knowing, this just feeling that like, that's the thing I was waiting for. And it will feel like it's going to feel like a brightening of your awareness. And I love the symbolism of this card too. Because if you look at it like, say this shadow thing is your physical body and this is your soul coming through in the middle, how it's like the veil is being pulled back. That's how it's going to feel. It's like you're wandering through earth just like, okay, what next? And then your soul is going to be like, oh, there it is. That's the one. That's the one. So just keep a lookout for that and keep an open mind with this too, because opportunities and whatever this thing is that you're meant to experience might not look the way you think it's going to look. It might not. But I also want to say this just lit up for me with the Queen of Pentacles here as well. Whatever this opportunity is, you're not yet ready to close this chapter because this opportunity is going to be what leads you to the next chapter. And it could be in terms of finances, especially. And just like stability in general. So keep a lookout for that. I think that's exactly what it is. Once you recognize this opportunity or this person or this thing, whatever it is, this awareness, that's when this book can cease and then you can start the new one. You can start the new story. But this character, I love that I'm using all these metaphors about like stories and novels, but this character needs to be introduced before we can start the new book. So whether it is an actual person or an opportunity or situation, this needs to be introduced at the end of this story that you're currently in before you can start the new story, because this is going to be something that is very prominent in the next cycle of your life. So, and again, there's this intuitive knowing where you're like, I can't celebrate yet. It's like that noise on TikTok where it's like, no, I can't laugh yet. I have to hold it in. Like that's kind of the energy you have right now because you know there is something on the horizon. You know you are so close to it, but you're like, I can't laugh yet. I can't celebrate yet because it's not quite here. And if I celebrate or laugh too early, I risk, like messing up the cosmic forces and maybe potentially losing out on this. So for now, I will use my awareness. I will scan my environment. I will just I will carry this awareness with me everywhere I go in these coming weeks in the month of February to make sure that I am able to recognize when the right situation comes up, when the right person, when the right opportunity comes up, so I can then be like, oh, yes, let me talk to you. Let's exchange numbers. Let's do something. And another interesting card here is the Six of Cups reverse with the Dream. Because Six of Cups upright is a very reminiscent energy. And I think in this case, this is just showing that if you were kind of bogged down by situations or feelings or relationships or opportunities of the past, you may have previously been like really dreamy-eyed about them and like really missing them and wondering like, oh, why did it end? Blah, 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 like really reminiscent. Again, rose-colored glasses is what I like to use to talk about the Six of Cups. Where in the past, even like in the recent past, I would say, if we're talking about the cycle of your life as a story again, we're talking like middle of the book, like not that far back in the past. You were thinking really, really dreamily about whatever the situation represents. now that it's reversed, you're like, oh, I'm not like, you're releasing that need to reminisce because you're recognizing that whatever I have in front of me is much better than what I had in the past. And there's a reason that thing is in the past. There's a reason it's the dream rather than the reality, because the reality, the awareness of my reality right now is telling me that there is so much more on the horizon for me than whatever was at sunset. The sun has already set on that, and now we're waiting for the sun to rise on this next chapter. And in order to do that, I need to be fully engulfed in the present moment. I can't be reminiscing. I can't be looking to the past. So that's a good sign there. That's a really good sign that you are ready to kind of move forward. And again, that's also emphasizing the energies that when it does come time to actually complete this cycle that you're in, you're not going to have anything holding you back from starting anew. You're not going to have anything holding you back from the celebration that you deserve and from standing in your worth in the present moment rather than looking at your worth from where it was previously. So congratulations, Gemini. That's really exciting. Let's see what other cards want to come out. Ooh, okay. Pause. Jeez. Interesting. So much Cups energy here. Oh, let me adjust that again. Make her all aligned. So much Cups energy, Gemini. 3 of Cups reverse, 6 of Cups reverse, 4 of Cups just came out, 7 of Cups just came out. And then, so yeah, you have the 4 and the 7. The 4 is tuning in, and the 7 is projections. Sorry for that pause. My cats love to go in the litter box when I'm recording videos and then just scratch at the walls. It gets very distracting. She went back to go back in the litter box. Did the colors just change too? It looks really... This isn't touchscreen. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll fix it later. Anyway, I feel like I look like a ghost right now. So, like I was saying, we had the 4 and 7 of Cups, tuning in, and projections. We had the Wheel of Fortune, change, conditioning, which is the Devil. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Death reverse. But then peeking out at the very bottom of the deck was the Ace of Cups. Going with the flow. And I feel that is important in this spread right now. Okay, the spread is kind of a mess. Very Gemini. And when I say mess, I mean in the best way. I feel like nobody does mess like Mercurials, and I adore that. And especially Geminis. What I like about the Ace of Cups jumping out when it didn't actually come out before, and especially since it was at the very bottom of the deck, this is a very underlying energy, but it also emphasizes the fact that this new beginning is right around the corner. This new beginning is on the horizon here for you. And it's on the other side of these choices that you have to make. And with the 4 of Cups, choices emphasized by the 7 of Cups. And also the Wheel of Fortune. With the 4 of Cups coming out, and I love that this one's tuning in, and I love the symbolism of this one as well, because we talked about how you will need to have this very specific awareness to be able to scan the horizon and figure out what is meant for you moving forward. You can see as she's meditating, there are all of these voices. These are whatever, voices of the past, voices of her own unconscious, voices that don't even belong to her, voices of projections. And she's tuning it all out in order to tune into her heart, in order to tune into the stillness, to these calm waters that you see here represented by her skirt. And in that stillness, she is able to come back to herself. And I kind of like the symbolism of this card more than the Rider-Waite deck, because the Rider-Waite deck kind of shows somebody being a little bit stubborn and not like taking the opportunities that are presented. Where in this deck, what are you guys doing? Oh my God. I am so sorry. Both of my cats are being maniacs right now. But the symbolism of this deck kind of denotes that rather than there's like she's not really accepting the voices of these spirits that surround her, which is similar to the Rider-Waite symbolism there, but where the Rider-Waite symbolism is being stubborn about it and like not doing much about the situation that they find themselves in. this person right here, rather than being engulfed and being pessimistic and being stubborn about all of these energies that are around her, she's saying, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm actually going to tune in. And as she tunes in, she amplifies her aura, which is making her own space to kind of eventually push those outer voices out. And that's kind of the choice you have to make here. It's are you going to give into that conditioning that causes your mind to be on overdrive all the time? And when your mind is on overdrive, that is when you miss the opportunities that do present itself, because you'll be overthinking. You'll be like, oh, well, like, I feel like I need to talk to that person, but maybe it's just my ego. Maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe because I know this now, it's actually not meant to be. It's like there's always this questioning going on, and that's just part of the devil on your shoulder. That's just part of that overthinking conditioning that you have. And again, as mercurial beings, it's a constant cycle of just mind, especially if you're ruled by Gemini or if you have Mercury in the first house or anything like that. So that's your choice here, represented by the Seven of Cups. And I love that in this deck, it's projections as well, because these two go hand in hand with that symbolism. Are you going to allow the ceaseless tune of your mind to just keep going and going and going and going and going? Or are you going to welcome in this change? Are you going to welcome in this new energy that says, if I learn to quiet the mind through meditation and really tune into my own energy and project my own energy outward enough so that all of the ceaseless chatter of the mind can spread out and make space for the mind to actually process what it needs to and do what it needs to do there, and then I'm creating the space to have that awareness we talked about earlier, to actually know when the things come up that are meant to be, that are leading me to this Queen of Pentacles energy that will then be the beginning chapter of the next part of my life. So that's going to be a big thing that you're going to be working through in February, is in order to get to this new beginning, you need to learn how to make that space. And that was a theme in Cancer and Aries readings as well. Making the space. Meditation is all about, if you think of it like a film reel, you have this piece of film, and then there's that tiny blank space right in between, and then you have the next roll of film, and then the next one. And it's like, these are all individual pictures going one by one, but with like a split, a millisecond in between each picture, you have that blank space. You have that blank space of nothingness. And that's kind of what you want. Picture your thoughts, like each picture. Every time you're able to find the in-between in the thoughts, stay there. Stay in that blank space. Stay in that in-between and learn how to emphasize it. Learn how to make space in that in-between, because in that space is when you'll have the clarity to have the awareness to find the opportunities that are meant for you. And ultimately, change is on the horizon, but it's interesting. And I think death is reversed here because, again, it's similar to the world being reversed. You're not quite ready to take on that new beginning. There is still conditioning you have to work through, these projections you have to move through, and you need to make the space in order to allow the transformation to occur. So as you're making that space and spreading that space and increasing your own awareness and tuning into yourself, you're making space for the necessary inner transformation to happen in order for the completion of this cycle to happen, in order to start anew. Like, this is so incredibly clear to me. I love when the readings, I was literally about to say, I love when the readings read like a storybook. That's the theme here, Gemini. That really is the theme, is your life is a story right now. Your life is a story. And whatever chapter or part one or whatever story you're in now is coming to a close. And with Wheel of Fortune, like, the universe is favoring you right now, but you need to do the inner work in order to amplify and maximize those blessings that are waiting for you, that are meant for you. You need to do the inner work, and that's going to be through meditation. And I said this for Aries too. Such similar messages for you, Aries and Cancer. But meditation doesn't just have to be sitting in lotus, closing your eyes and saying Om over and over again, especially if you're ruled by Gemini. But Geminis in general, again, very like childlike energy, very active energy, very like so even if you do try to tune into meditation, your mind might go on overdrive and be like, oh my God, I need to say that thing. Oh my God, I need to text that person. Oh my God, I need to write this down. So try classic meditation, and even if you are interrupted by yourself, maybe try to just wait and see and like just hold it out and wait to jot down your notes until the end. It's like at graduations when people are like, they'll hold your applause till the end, and nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. But try to do your best to to just hold it out if you are doing classic meditation and write down everything at the end. Like set an actual timer rather than just doing open-ended, I'm just going to sit here for as long as I can, and do your best not to interrupt yourself until that timer goes off. And then that's when it can all occur. But also, it doesn't just have to be classic meditation. Dancing is meditation. Kickboxing is meditation. Going on walks is meditation. Journaling is meditation. It's anything that allows you to be fully engulfed in the present moment. Amplify that space, that blank space where your mind is not the one driving. Your mind is not on overdrive, and it's also not the one in the driver's seat. It's like your soul has space to move and guide you in that blank space. But you need to tap into that space in order to amplify it for yourself. Yeah, ultimately, Gemini, like, new beginnings are on the horizon, but we're not quite finished with this story. So just be mindful of the unhealthy coping mechanisms you have, and especially that unhealthy habit of just letting your mind all the time. Don't overthink. Really trust your gut in the coming days in February. Trust your gut to guide you to where you are meant to be. Trust your gut to guide you to the opportunities that are meant for you. Trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut. That's the emphasis here. Trust your gut, meditate, tune into the present moment, go with the flow, again with that Ace of Cups, and really trust that the end is near, but we're not quite ready for that change. We're not quite ready for that ending because we have to do the work to create the inner transformation to make the space for this new beginning to happen. But ultimately, it's yours. Like Queen of Pentacles being one of the first cards to come out, it's yours. Stability is yours. But again, we need to introduce this character before we finish this story because this character is going to be important in the next step of your journey. So keep a lookout. Tap in. Keep your awareness up. Ooh, that was good. But with all of that said, this was I was about to say personal reading. This was not a personal reading. This was a general reading. So it's possible not everything will resonate. And if that is the case, you can check out my website linked in the description below. And there you can book with me personally for tarot readings, astrology, human design, and numerology is coming very, very soon. So keep a lookout for that. If you did like this reading at all, leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you are interested in getting your forecast for the month ahead, according to the tarot cards, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here in the future. But Gemini, seriously, there's not much else to say. It's just amplify your awareness, tune into yourself, create the space, block out the projections, let your mind cease. And again, keep your awareness up. Scan your environment right now for whatever this opportunity is because it offers so much. So much, not only for the completion of this story, but for the entirety of the next step of your journey. And I'm so excited to see what you do with it and where it takes you. Ooh, love you guys. Until next time.